Did Pokemon just sneak a legendary myth into one of its new starters? Because Pombon might secretly be based on the Qilin. Okay, hear me out. Pombon has that small lion cub body, but look closer. The face shape, it's definitely a dog. The stance, regal. And that little horn detail, that's where things I feel like are gonna get super interesting. The Qilin, sometimes called the Chinese unicorn, is a mythical beast with a lion-like body, a dog-like face, scales, and usually a single horn. Lion build? Check. Canine facial features? Obviously check. Horned? Mythical aura? Big check. Now, in mythology, the Qilin isn't just cool looking. It represents prosperity, peace, and the arrival of a great ruler. It only appears during times of harmony. And what do starters usually represent? The beginning of a new journey, a new era, a chosen trainer. If Pombon really does draw from the Qilin inspiration, that means that Game Freak might be trying this generation's theme to balance virtue or even destiny. And if this region is inspired by East Asia, that connection gets even stronger. Is Pombon just cute, or is it a secretly myth here from day one? Let me know what you think, because this might be the most lore-heavy starter we've seen in years. Then the grass starter Browt might also be hiding some mythological inspiration. Because at first glance, Browt just kind of looks like a cute bird. But its design actually points to 3 different possible inspirations. First off, I've seen this all over social media, the Cassowary. These birds are basically living dinosaurs. They've got a massive helmet-like crest, powerful legs, and they're known as one of the most dangerous birds on Earth. So if Browt does evolve into something bigger and more aggressive, the Cassowary inspiration would make a lot of sense. But if Game Freak is leaning into the legendary creatures or mythical creatures this generation, I feel like Browt could be inspired by the Thunderbird. In many Native American traditions, the Thunderbird is a massive spirit that controls storms. Every flap of its wings creates thunder and lightning. Imagine a final evolution that's a giant storm bird with grass and lightning elements. That would go insanely hard, which also ties into the grass and electric typing that has been so hardly rumored. But we'll go over the typings at the end of the video. Or if the game sticks with East mythology like the Qilin theory, Browt might be connected to Garuda. A Garuda is a powerful divine bird found across the Asian mythology, a symbol of strength, speed, and protection. And visually, a proud bird started evolving to a massive guardian-like creature that fits that theme perfectly. So Browt could go in those 3 directions. A prehistoric Cassowary monster, a storm-bringing Thunderbird, or a mythical Garuda-style guardian. And last but not least, the goat that I'm going to be choosing, Gecqua. Now this adorable little baby looks like it's based off the Tokay gecko. The species is known for being surprisingly aggressive and found out throughout Southwest Asia's space like the Philippines and Indonesia, which is interesting because this region is heavily rumored the inspiration for the new Pokemon region. Now, I do have a super deep cut. I'd be surprised if they go this route. It does kind of tie into the cryptid and the mythology route, which is the Gajah-Mina. When I was doing this research for this video, I came across this Gajah-Mina. I kind of thought it had similar markings as Gecqua does. And I think it would have really fit into the whole maybe possibly being water psychic. So it could potentially be based off something this wild, but like I'm about to say, I don't see Pokemon doing this because this creature is basically an elephant fish hybrid from Balinese mythology. I just can't see Pokemon turning this tiny little gecko starter into this giant fish elephant. But that evolution path could be a little wild. My main theory is if they do stick around with the mythology route, is that you could maybe see it be based off a cryptid-inspired evolution like Loch Ness Monster or Nessie. Imagine Gecko evolving to a long, serpentine, aquatic reptile, like a water version of Superior. A mysterious lake monster, I feel like, would just fit this water starter perfectly. Realistically, though, I think they're gonna go with kind of a combination between the Loch Ness and this last theory that I have. I feel like Game Freak could go simpler but still awesome direction with something like the Komodo dragon. Now, Komodo dragons are native to Indonesia. They're massive, intimidating reptiles, and they would make an incredible final evolution for this gecko starter. So looking at all three of these starters together, we have Pombon with a Qilin inspiration, a lion, unicorn, dog-like creature, or Browt pulling from mythical birds or mythic birds, Gecqua evolving into some kind of legendary reptile or monster. And if that's the case, this generation might secretly be built around mythology and cryptids from across Asia and beyond. Which starter theory do you think is most likely? Because if Gecqua turns into a Komodo dragon, I'm calling it now. Let's talk about my predictions for the final evolution typings. Now, I personally think Pombon is going to evolve into a fire fairy type, if it is based off the Qilin. Because the Qilin is a benevolent, how do I say this? Benevolent. That word. The Qilin is a benevolent, sacred creature, often associated with purity, virtue, and good fortune, which fits the fairy typing perfectly. Pokemon frequently gives mythical or holy creatures fire typing in general. And the Qilin is also depicted surrounded by flames or divine energy, which fits fire extremely well. Other possibilities too could be Fire Dragon if they lead more into the Mythic Beast angle, or Fire Psychic if they emphasize wisdom and omen symbolism. Let's move on to Browt. No, I mentioned that I think Browt could be inspired by a Cassowary, a Thunderbird, or a Garuda. I personally think it's going to be a Grass Electric because I think the Thunderbird to me makes the most sense. If it does become a Thunderbird style evolution, Electric makes perfect sense. Grass starters often get secondary types that represent an environmental power. The Decidueye got Ghost and Neoscarda got Dark. A storm-bringing bird that protects forests would perfectly fit Grass Electric. Other possibilities would probably be Grass Flying, safe and traditional, and then Grass Fighting if Garuda Operation leads into like a warrior imagery. But most likely, I would like to see Grass Electric. Gecqua. I think it's obviously that it's either going to be Water Dragon or Water Poison. Personally, I would like to see Water Dragon, because Reptile plus Dragon is extremely common Pokemon design evolution. And a sea monster or giant reptile concepts frequently end up with dragon typed anyway. I could see them do Water Poison with the Komodo dragon type of influence because Komodo dragons are indeed venomous. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of my theories. What is your favorite theory? And I can't wait to see Pombon, Browt, and Gecqua's final evolution.